But the reality is you got to live with it.
Yeah.
You got to live with it. You're going to have to deal with it. It's going to live on in you. And then you have to live with yourself.
Roy's message is simple. No matter where you've been, what you've lost, or what challenges you face, God can bring purpose from pain and hope from even the darkest circumstances. The 80s were the best.
80s kid, skateboards, BMX bikes,
Yep.
the fluorescent colors. For those of you that are on the podcast and can't see me, I most likely look like a Hispanic. So yes, I am Hispanic. My father's first language was Spanish. So in the ish, what I could track back was there was a few Sublaskys that crossed from Lithuania. Now, Amelia Estrella and her family, they helped pioneer the Estrella Mountains.
No kidding.
Yeah. And so
Cool.
those mountains are named after her.
That is so
Her
cool.
family. School was just, it was torture for me. It was like
was it like an ADD thing?
yes,
Okay.
ADD, ADHD, however, whatever
Okay.
letters you want to put on it. I could not sit still. No, I could not read the room at all. I learned how to read, but I could not read the room.
Like, if you were being disruptive, he'd sit you in the chair and he'd say, "You're going to grow roots. Sit down."
When I would get in trouble, which was kind of often, I would go to Dad's, and
Okay.
then from Dad's, I just didn't like it there. There's too many rules. You know, Dad was pretty strict. He was he was becoming a pastor at the time, and very extreme in a very extreme setting of a church. I would say
Gotcha.
that, and so it was just too much for me. So I would bounce from there.
Just playing.
Just playing, man. Just playing. BMX bikes were the thing back then. Skateboards were the thing for me back then. And I just wanted to be out with the friends. And then all of a sudden my friends, they start, sneaking into alcohol. And then another, older friend that was in high school, he's got marijuana. And, I'm like 12 years old. We didn't know how to express, hey, our families are broken up. And what do we do about this? We didn't have that type of, I guess, bandwidth to be able to process that. And so we just process it. Let's just go crazy. Let's have fun. Let's, let's get out there. Let's just do whatever we want. It seemed like, and maybe not compared to today, but it seemed like music there was like this ultra violence or this ultra, it didn't even have to be violence. It was just like almost like a shock factor. When it's all said and done, you go home, you're like, oh, maybe I am dumb. Maybe, hey, I know things kind of stink for you right now, but you're a good person. Things are looking up for you, and just giving that encouragement.
It's almost like, let's take worst of the worst, put them all together so that they can feed off each other.
Kevin Starr, if you're out
Reach
there,
out.
I know I didn't spend a lot of time at that school, but you did make impact in my life, and I look back and I still remember him. I still remember him just looking at me, and there weren't judgmental eyes. I stopped going to school, Jan, and any young person out there, please do not stop going to school. School is so accessible now. This is something that I was embarrassed about for years and years, Jan, but I dropped out. Somehow I get into college, and I don't know how they let me in because I didn't have a diploma.
You didn't have a diploma? Did you have a GED?
I didn't have a GED. We were living in South Carolina. I'm 36 years old, and I was like, I need to get my GED.
Because there are so many kids today, and I think part of the issue is the educational system, which has been so squished down into you have to fit in this box. I went to college out of high school because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. I didn't think there was any other option. I was like, oh, well, I got to go to college, and whatever. I'm like, that's pretty good for a kid that doesn't, if you don't have any expenses now. Right? Now you start getting expenses and things like that. You need to make more money, and pretty soon you're going to cap out on what you can do but I also feel like from an adolescent perspective, it's naive to be in that situation and think this is doing me no good.
And so I'm 20-ish years old, and trying to figure out what am I going to do. Like, I know I'm not made to go to prison, and I wanted something different. I didn't want to end up addicted, drugs or prison or, just wasting my life. But at the same time, I didn't know how to change. And that right then and there was my super duper wake up call, like just the door wide open wake up call. Like, hey, you need to do something. And, but I just began to imagine, how is my son going to see me? Is my son going to have to visit me in jail?
Oh, wow.
Is my son going to have to visit a grave? Is my son going to know me as an addict? But I knew enough to where, like, hey, if a person puts their faith in God and they begin to pursue God, then something about that person changes. I said, I don't know. I just don't feel good. I don't feel good about my life. I feel like something's going to happen to me. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. You really need to follow Jesus. I was like, follow Jesus? Okay. And he's like, you know what that means? Your life's going to change. Like the things that you've been doing, Roy, like he's going to cause you to stop. So I was like, whoa, change, stop. That's exactly what I want. She's like, are you okay, mijo? That meeting with God, that I don't know if you can really formulate that in words.
I think it's something that definitely has to come from your heart.
And I remember trying to say it and I couldn't say it. I could not say it. And then I'm hopping into my car and I remember thinking to myself, wow, the God who created all of this, I'm good with him. And he's good with me. And lo and behold, God does. He did. I do come out of a background of experimenting with drugs and that whole lifestyle. And so there's a lot of kids that are either tempted to do that or they're involved in that and they feel like they can't share that with anybody or they know it's dangerous. And it is really dangerous now. No, you're gambling.
Yeah.
You're gambling with your life. And they're young men going through custody battles. And rather than wrecking and blowing up, no, man, you're going to go to work. You're going to be a good dad.
Yeah.
You're going to cherish your parenting time. It's all going to be worth it.
Yeah.
It's all going to be worth it,
Isn't it crazy? And this is side note, because you just made me think about this. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. How much you think you actually know and how old you think you are. And you look at people who are in our demographic, age-wise, these guys are so freaking old, And I look back and I think, I'm not that old, man.
Yeah.
I'm not that old. But obviously, as a young kid, you think you know everything. You think you got it all figured out. It's like, who are you to tell me type of thing. But I think about that now and I think how much we thought we knew.
Yeah.
And now looking back, it's like, we were so young.
Connection before correction. Connection before correction. You can't have healthy correction without a good, solid connection. And so I think good connection brings about good correction. To me, the gospel of Jesus Christ is hope. Hope, hope, hope. Hope for the hopeless, people that are in despair, all that stuff. They're not even in despair. It's hope for everyone. And we're not, we don't hold these titles to just bash over people's heads. It really is to love, lift up, help where we can. And that's been my calling. I tell people this, I really do mean it. So with me, it was like a no-brainer to follow Jesus. I'm not going to blame culture and society and, the 90s or drugs or whatever.
Right.
I made those decisions.
I mean, ultimately, I started this because I felt like there's a misconception or misperception of business owners in and amongst the community that we have it easy. And what I hear is we're all struggling. And I feel it's important that people understand they're not alone in that struggle.
Most business owners that I know, their labor is out of just love and they want their communities to be better. I'm mindful that, hey, God could have this person in front of me for a reason. If you listen to somebody long enough, they'll begin to tell you what's going on in their heart. So Daniel, at the time of his passing, was 19. Daniel, from day one, has just been all boy, wild, running around, tough.
Like his dad.
Yeah, just tough guy, tough kid. But his heart was very tender. He'd do anything for his friends. And so he understood the importance of, if you're able-bodied, then you help somebody, you help people.
He'd be like, hey, I lived that life.
Yeah, I think so. I think service, I think he really would do, if he loves you, he's going to do anything. The principal pulls me aside and says, I want you to show you this project. He did such a great job and he was so good to us every time he came in here. And whatever we asked, he would do it with a smile. And he had such a great attitude. Then the owner of the management company, she said, I don't want to hire anyone else. Yeah. And so that's what I would want people to know, that he's a very loving, respectful guy. And it's unfortunate he's not here to share that. He gets a text, hey, hop in my car. He comes out with AR style pistol. And so one shot hits him in the right hand. He's got his hands up. I don't know if the game was still going on that late, but imagine what else could have happened. The officer's asking him, who shot you? Who shot you? He says, just save my life, I'll tell you. Just save my life, I'll tell you. Doctor pulls us in and says, hey, pulls us into a side, council room, I guess you would call it, and says, hey, Daniel's been shot, and we've emptied our blood at the hospital. And so at 5, he was pronounced dead. That was October 11th, and just a nightmare of a night. And it rained for days, Jan. It would just seem like gloom. Their bond was lowered from $1 million to $500,000, and that $500,000, what you could do is, gather 50 grand, and then have a bondsman secure the rest. And one of the lawyers, conveniently, after both of them are now out on bond, is going to be on vacation for a month. Just when things settle down, it's like, oh, we have to go to court again. What I was told was that this defendant, if they were granted this motion to go on vacation, then their GPS monitor, the ankle bracelet monitor that monitors them to make sure that they're not around my workplace, they're not around my house. But this is getting real, like we're in limbo. We're just tossed back and forth. And I felt like their rights were more than our rights.
To interject, I feel like, and I'm a firm believer in the fact that we need to be innocent until proven guilty.
Yes, me too.
And for lack of a better phrase in putting it this way, but when you're caught with the smoking gun in your hand, to belabor that point, I feel like there's a point at which the judicial system is very flawed, probably on both sides, right?
Part of what makes this whole situation, I don't know what to call it, just like an extra layer to this, is that we know these kids. It's like, hey, life is short. We really need to be present with each other and try to spend quality time with each other, and let's figure out different ways how to help each other. His friends have been coming over and reaching out, and they want to do something positive. At first, of course, they're angry. They're angry young men, and they think that violence might be an option. It's like, no, guys, please. No, we're going to honor Daniel's life. We're going to do something good with this. We're not going to be like that. And my relationship with God, I can either get bitter or we're going to get better. I'm choosing to get better. And I think he wants us to worship him, not because he needs the worship.
Yeah.
It's because we need to worship something good, and I think that God looks at our situation and he's like, I hate that this happened to you.
Do you feel like, I mean, you have had some unique experiences in your life that have allowed you to, I will say, minister to people that some people wouldn't be able to relate to or connect with.
It's like I said earlier, either I'm going to let it get us bitter, or we're going to give it to God and say, okay, God, we're still going to serve. We're still going to do something good. And as long as we're still doing that, then we know that you're able to use this and use our experiences to help bless somebody else. Starts pouring out how he feels and how he wants to change, and he doesn't know how, and he thinks that he needs to follow God, but he doesn't know how to follow God, and he can't follow God like I follow God. He sees us right now. He sees your heart right now. Just follow him. And I just told him, son, I love you. I don't care about any of that stuff. And they were like, we need to do something about this. We need to do something. I was like, well, we can't let this destroy us. We can't just sit here in anger. What can we do? Every year, we're throwing a birthday party and we're throwing a memorial for him every year. Parents, connect with your kids. Let's protect this community. Let's protect our kids. So what that is a de-escalation. It's a violence de-escalation, I want to say, prevention type of program. Let's say a family like mine. I'm in the hospital. My son has just passed, and it was due to violence. Initially, when I wake up in the morning, I could just take you through the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I take you
Yeah.
through my day. I wake up in the morning. I have there's a table. It's got all Daniel's pictures. His ashes are there. Little fun things that we've collected throughout the years with him. And so I get up in the morning, gonna get my oatmeal ready, and say, son, I miss you. I pray for the family. I pray for myself. God, help me to have a healthy outlook today. God, help me not to let this eat me up. I hit the gym. And in the gym, honestly, I'm taking out frustration.
How do you feel? How does it make you feel if I say God can bring purpose from pain? What does that mean?
For me, it's hope. It doesn't all die there. That the purpose of that someone else can be touched by this story, by our story. His death doesn't have to be in vain. I really do see God stretching my heart in areas that maybe in times past I was very shut off or not even aware of. This for me was just a heartbreaking moment where my heart is just like broken open. With the slowdown, it's just trying to interrupt violence before it turns into a tragedy. It could be detrimental to their way of life, to their not you could ruin they could ruin their life, they could ruin the next life. Their families are going to feel this. Their community is going to feel this. Yeah.
And during hunting season, the 30-06 was back there. Never in my wildest thoughts ever
Yeah.
would I have thought about pointing that at somebody and taking somebody's life. But I kind of feel like we've gone through this weird change where the lack of common respect for human life has been lost.
Now, so, and I'm not trying to.
Well, and I think we have to make sure that we take some of that with a grain of salt.
Yes, with a grain of salt.
And a perception.
Yep.
Right. So understand when we do talk about some of this stuff, it is very much in generalities.
Yeah.
And a hearsay perspective.
Yeah, hearsay.
Well, yeah, they do, but unfortunately, nobody's dealing with them. So now we've got to go to this next level, you know.
And how many of them were underage to be carrying a pistol?
And how do they get access to it? Well, it's unfortunate, I think, that we have to caveat statements with things like that.
Let's pause. Let's think about this. In today's society, how much time do our young people and even us pause and think about it?
And at what point does self-defense turn into an attack?
Defendants
Yeah.
had guns. One victim did not.
You can't say, well, it's okay on this side because there was this belief, and it's not okay on that side because, I mean, it has to be equal across the board.
How are we watching every night? Was it 3? At least 3?
Yeah.
At least 3 shootings in Phoenix, in our area,
Yeah.
a night.
Well, and I think society today has everything so polarized
Yeah.
that if you and I don't agree about one little thing, I have to hate you.
Yeah.
And I think that is the most absurd thing in the world. Doesn't mean my situation's better or worse. Doesn't mean I'm smarter or dumber. It means that we had 2 completely different experiences that have formulated our thought process.
And because I'm not out looking for where I don't connect. It's an easy one. I mean, I could find thousands of them every day. What I'm looking for is where do I connect?
I mean, well, and even, you know, you think about, okay, the last time, you know, you got yelled at by somebody, or, you know, somebody flipped you the bird in driving down the street or whatever. It's like, we don't know what their circumstances are that have brought them to the point of they felt like they needed to be that way to you, you know, right? So
They could have just lost their son.
but that's the thing. It's like we just don't know what those people are dealing with in that moment of time.
I would try my best. I said it again. I'll say it again. Is to find that connection point. And what I mean by that is, if you're picking up anger off of somebody, if you're picking up they've got, you know, some hostility, and they've got address that. I don't know if you notice this, but the way that you come across is Like, you're mad. Are you mad about something? Not mad at me. I love you, man. I care about you. Whatever. Are you mad about something? And if anyone was going to be statistics, it was us. But I can try to help them notice that, hey, you're angry. Do you want to continue to live this way? Do you like waking up like this and going to bed like this? Do you like the way that it eats you up? Because there's a different way. If money was the issue, I would have threw money at them. Letting young men know, like, there's more emotions that are going on in you. Everything is not just anger. I could say, hey, we go to court and we see a guilty verdict and these guys are locked up, but what's that going to do? It's not going to bring Daniel back. But healing for me, and I'll take it back, is I think it's going to be us not getting bitter, getting better. We're going to have our days, but trying to live out that legacy of compassion and service. That's what I'm hanging on to. And their world can be so good. Their world can be so much more, but you got to give it some time, and you got to be looking for those good things. You might be able to do this thing, this violent thing, or this hurtful thing. You might be able to do it. You may have done it, but the reality is you got to live with it.
Yeah.
You got to live with it. You're going to have to deal with it. It's going to live on in you, and then you have to live with yourself. And so I would just plead with them. Choose life. Dad, I couldn't save Daniel. I couldn't save Daniel. But I pray through this story, through us sharing and being open, being vulnerable, that there could be a Daniel that gets saved. Like, hey, the realities of it.
Yeah.
That there would be discussions and hopefully steering's away.
I respect you so much for what you have been through and how you have continued to keep your faith at the forefront and allow that leadership to continue to seek forward.
This is Roy Sublasky, and I went above and beyond. Thank you, Jan.
We truly thrive.